For question 1, I will use the formula speed is equal to distance over time. So speed is equal to 429 over the time. Now note that the time is 6 hours and 39 minutes. This is equal to 6 and 39 over 60 hours. I can simplify this one as 6 and 13 over 60 hours, or if I want, I can even convert it into a decimal. That's 6.65 hours, and I'm going to use this number as my denominator, and if I put this on the calculator, I will get 64.5, which is my final answer. In question 2, I have 5 numbers. Now the median is 7, which means that the middle one must be equal to 7. The mode is 8, which means I have 8 at least 2 positions. And because 8 is bigger than 7, it means that these 2 positions must be equal to 8. Let's write this down. Now the range is 5, which means that the difference between the smallest number and the largest is equal to 5, which means that the smallest one is 3. And finally, in the second position here, I need a number that is between 3 and 7. Note that I cannot use 3 or 7, otherwise it's going to affect my mode. So it could be a 4, a 5, or a 6. So I have 3 different combinations, and I can write this down. Now you don't have to write all 3 of them. One of these is enough. For part A of question 3, I can work with 2 different methods. Now method 1 involves finding the actual profit, and this is equal to 520 minus 465, which is equal to $55. And then the percentage profit is equal to the actual profit divided by the buying price, which is 465, times 100, and this will give me 11.8, which is my final answer. Method 2 involves working with the multiplying factor. So my initial value, which is 465, times the multiplying factor will give me the final price. So the multiplying factor is 520 over 465. So the multiplying factor comes out to be 1.118. You can think of this as 118.8 over 100. So you can extract the 11.8% from this number. For part B, I will work with the multiplying factor. The 12% corresponds to a multiplying factor of 88 over 100. The reason is less than 100 is because there's a decrease in the price. Now this one can be written as a decimal if you want. So to find the new price, I'm going to take the old price, the initial one, 550, multiply this by the multiplying factor, and 484 will be the new price, which is the final answer. For question 4, part A, I need to draw and label these equations. Now the first one, x equals 1.5, is a vertical line passing through x equals 1.5. The second equation, y is equal to x, is a diagonal line passing through 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on. So if I draw this line, it's going to look like this. And for the last line, let's consider what happens when x is equal to 0. This gives me a y value of 6. So the line passes through 0, 6. Similarly, when y is equal to 0, x comes out to be 6. So it passes through 6, 0. So my line goes through these points. It looks like this. Let's draw it. For part B, I need to shade the region that satisfies all three of the inequalities. Now note x is bigger than or equal to 1.5. I need the region to the right of this line. Y is bigger than x. I need the region above this line. And x plus y is less than or equal to 6. I need the region below this line. And the region that satisfies this is this triangle here. So let's shade that region. For part A, expanding gives me 8x squared plus 20x minus 6x squared plus 9x. And if I simplify, I will get 2x squared plus 29x. For part B, I will start by adding these two powers. So y to the power of 5 plus n over y to the power of 6 equals y to the 13. And then I will subtract those two powers. So I get y to the 5 plus n minus 6 equals y to the power of 13. Finally, I will equate these two powers. So 5 plus n minus 6 equals to 13. And if I rearrange, I will get n is equal to 14. In part C, I will rearrange to get t's on its own. So 5t less than 7 plus 8 is 15. So t is less than 15 over 5, which is 3. That's the answer for part I. And then for II, I will have a circle, a 3 open circle with an arrow towards the left. For part A, note that anything to the power of 0 is always 1, so that's the answer. Now for part B, I know you can put this on the calculator and get the final answer, but I will do this manually, at least part of this. Now for the numerator, note that the two parts have a difference of 1. So what I'm going to do is reduce this by 1. Reducing by 1 means I have to get rid of a factor of 10. I'm going to pass this to the number in front. So this will become 96 times 10 to the 140 plus 6.4 times 10 to the 140. This will give me 102.4 times 10 to the 140. So now I have 102.4 times 10 to the 140 over 3.2 times 10 to the 16. Now this division will give me 32. And then I have times 10, and the power is 140 minus 16, which is 124. This is not in standard form. To turn it into standard form, I need to take away a factor of 10 from here and pass it on to the 10 to the 124. So final answer, 3.2 times 10 to the 125. For question 7, I will summarize all this information on a table. I'm going to need one column for the 5 pods, one column for the 1 extra pod, and the last column for all 6 pods. And then I'm going to need one row for the sum. Now the symbol used for the sum is equal to sigma x. I'll need another row for n, which is the number of pods, and one for the mean, which is the first row, sigma x, divided by the second row, which is n. Now, the number of pods are given in the titles, so 5, 1, and 6. I'm given the means of the 5 and the 6 pots, that's 398 and 401, and I'm asked to find the value x here, which is the weight of the 6th pot. Now to do so, I will first find these numbers here, and I'll do so by doing multiplication. So 5 times 398 is equal to 1990. Similarly, 6 times 401 is equal to 2406. So my x value is equal to 2406 minus 1990, and this will give me 416, which is my final answer. For question 8, I will need to find the area of the circle and then subtract the area of the triangle. Now recall that the area of the circle is given by the following formula: pi r squared. Now I don't know the radius. I can find AC, which is the diameter, by using the Pythagoras theorem. So let's write this down. AC squared is equal to 15 squared plus 8 squared, which is 289. So AC is the square root of 289, which comes out to be 17. This is the diameter, hence the radius is 17/2. Hence, shaded area is the area of the circle minus the area of the triangle. Pi 17/2 squared minus base times height over 2, so 8 times 15/2. Now this will give me 289/4 pi minus 60. You can put this on the calculator to get 166.98 and so on. So this rounds to 167 centimeters squared. For question 9, to find the lowest common multiple, I will use all the prime factors to their highest powers. So I get 2 to the power of 4 times 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 4 times 11 times 13. For question 10, since the ratio of number of people in team A to the number of people in team B is 3 to 4, and this gives a total of 7, it means that in team A I will have 3/7, and in team B I will have 4/7. Now I need 4/5 of team A. Let's write this down. 4/5 of team A. This means I have 4/5 of 3/7. Do multiplication. This will give me 12/35. And then I have 24/100 because percentage of team B. So 24/100 times 4/7 will give me 24/175. And if I add these two numbers, I will get 12/25, which is the final answer. For question 11, I'll start by simplifying the brackets. Now the 9 and the 18 simplify, so I have a 2 in the denominator, and the t's cancel out, 4 at the top with 4 at the bottom. I've got 2 in the denominator, and finally the w's, 9 in the numerator, 10 in the denominator. 1 is left in the denominator, and all this to the power of minus 2. Now obviously in my numerator I need to have something, so this will be 1. Because of the minus sign, I will flip this fraction, so it becomes 2t squared w over 1 to the power of positive 2. So now I will expand and I have the square on each term. Now note 1 squared in the denominator is just 1. So this will give me 4t to the 4 w squared. For question 12, I'll start by calculating a quarter of n. That's a quarter of 15. Comes out to be 3.75, which means my lower quartile will be the fourth observation, and this is the 4 here. And then I'll proceed to find the upper quartile. 3/4 of 15 gives me 11.25. I'm gonna round up for the upper quartile, so this is the 12th observation, which is the 13. So upper quartile is 13. Both of these are minutes. So to find the interquartile range, I'll do Q3 minus Q1, which is 13 minus 4, which comes out to be 9 minutes. For question 13, I'll start by finding angle M, which is this one. And note this is half of 124. So 124 divided by 2, which gives me 62 degrees. And the reason is that angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. And then I will find angle N, which is this one. Now this angle is opposite this angle, and both of these are in a cyclic quadrilateral. So 180 minus 62 will give me 118. And then to find angle QPO, which is this angle here, I will first find PQO, which is this angle. Now this angle is equal to M. These are angles in the same segment. So PQO is equal to M, which is 62. And then note that this triangle here is isosceles because both of these are radii. So this is 62, so this is also 62, and that's my final answer. For question 14 part A, note that the lowest common multiple of the denominators is equal to 20. So I'll multiply the first fraction by 4 minus the second fraction, which will be multiplied by 5. And this is equal to 4.55 times 20. No need to put the denominator since they will cancel out. Let's expand now. 36a minus 28 minus 15a plus 35 is equal to 91. So 21a plus 7 equals 91. 21a is equal to 84. So a is 84 over 21, which will give me 4. For part B, I will remove the square root, so p squared is equal to ac plus 8 over 3 plus c. Then I will cross multiply, so 3p squared plus c p squared equals to ac plus 8. I want to isolate all the terms that have a c, so these two terms must be on the same side. So cp squared minus ac equals to 8 minus 3p squared. Now let's take c as a common factor. So c bracket p squared minus a is equal to 8 minus 3 p squared. And finally, I will divide by the bracket to leave c on its own. So c equals to 8 minus 3p squared over p squared minus a. Now note that c equals to 3p squared minus 8 over a minus p squared is also acceptable. For part A of question 15, consider the second bar, which is this one. I'm given that there are 63 parcels in there, so the frequency basically 63. Note that the base is equal to 1.5. I don't know the height, but I know the area is 63. So 1.5 times the height of the bar should give me 63. So the height comes out to be 42. And since 42 is here, then I can complete the vertical axis. I've got 10, 20, 30, and 40. So now I can find the area and hence the frequency of each bar. Now I'm going to write this down. You can't just read it from the graph, put it on the calculator and get the answer. So for the first bar, 0.5 times the height, which is 18, will give me 9. We've already done the second one. 1.5 times 42 gives me 63. Now the third one is 1 times 24, which gives me 24. Third one, 1 times 30 is equal to 30. And the last one, 2 times 8, which gives me 16. Now if I add this up, I will get 142. Now for part B, I need to find the number of parcels weighing more than 225. So basically, I need to find the following area. Now the frequency in the last bar is 16. The frequency in the second to last is 30. And I know the group between 2 and 3 has a frequency of 24. We found this in part A. And I need 3/4 of that bar because I need from 2.25 to 3, while the whole bar goes from 2 to 3. So here I'm going to say 3/4 of 24 plus 30 plus 16. This will give me 64 parcels. So the probability, the first one is more than 2.25 kilograms, is 64 over 142. And once this one is selected, there are 141 parcels left. 63 of them weigh more than 2.25. And this gives me an answer of 672 over 3337. You can put this in decimal, which is 0.201. Both fraction and decimal are accepted. In question 16, I'll start completing the Venn diagram using this information. So from the first one, 4 study all 3 languages, then 10 study Russian and French. So these 2 regions are 10, which means I've got a 6 on top of 4. 13 study French and German. So these 2 regions are 13. So I've got a 9 here. And then 6 study Russian and German. These 2 regions are 6. So I've got a 2 here. And then 24 study German, which means that the sum of these 4 regions will be equal to 24. I've already got 15 there, so I need an extra 9 for German only. And then 11 study none of these, so I've got 11 outside. I'm left with 1 region here, and I'm being told that the number who study Russian only is twice the number who study French only. I've got X studying French only, so 2x should be written in this region. Now in part B, I'm being told that the total number should be 80. So 2x plus x plus 9 plus 6 plus 9 plus 2 plus 4 plus 11 is equal to 80. So 3x plus 41 is equal to 80. 3x is equal to 39. So x is equal to 13. But I don't want to find x. I want to find the number of students that study Russian. So for Russian, I've got 2x, 6, 4, and 2. So that's 2x plus 12, which is equal to 38. For part A of question 17, I'll start by finding the area of the two trapezia, one at the front, one at the back. So let's write this down, trapezia, and let's write here front and back. And this is equal to 2 times, because I have 2 of them, and the area of the trapezium is a half a plus b times the height. So the 2 and the 1 over 2 cancels out. So I get 37 plus 28 times the height, which is 20, which is equal to 1300. Then I have the top face, which is a rectangle, 28 by 24. This will give me an answer of 672. Then I've got the bottom one, which is also a rectangle, that's 37 by 24. This will come out to be 888. And finally, I have the 2 rectangles on the left and right. Now these are identical, so I've got 2 of them. I know that the length is 24, but I don't know the height of these rectangles. And to do so, I will consider the following triangles. Now, the height of each triangle is 20. It's this one. These are equivalent. Now, I need the base of the triangle, and I have 2 of those triangles, one on the left, one on the right. So I can subtract 37 minus 28 over 2 to find that side. Let's do this. 37 minus 28 over 2, which will give me 4.5. And now I'm going to use Pythagoras theorem, because those blue triangles are right angle triangles, to find the side CD. So let's go somewhere here below. CD squared is equal to 20 squared plus 4.5 squared, which means that CD is the square root of that, comes out to be 20.5. So the area of each of those rectangles is 20.5 times 24, and this will give me 984. And if I add these 4 numbers, I will get 3,844 centimeters squared. Now in part B, I need to find the angle between AF and the plane ADEH. So if I go to the shape, the angle I need is the angle here between AF and the base. So this is the angle I need. So consider the following triangle. This is a right angle triangle, and I need this angle here. Now for this right angle triangle, I know the height, which is 20. I don't know the base that goes from A all the way up to this point. Let's call this point something. Let's call it K. Now to find AK, consider another triangle. This one, again, a right angle triangle with base 37 and height 24. So let's start by extracting that red triangle. Now the base of this triangle is equal to 37 minus 4.5. It's the whole of this, A and D minus the 4.5 we found, which gives me 32.5. So using Pythagoras theorem, AK squared is equal to 24 squared plus 32.5 squared. So AK squared comes out to be 1632.25. So AK is the square root of this number. This comes out to be approximately 40.40 and so on. So now that I have found AK, I can work with this orange triangle. So the required angle is tan A equals opposite, which is 20 over the square root of 1632.25. This comes out to be 0.495 and so on. So A is inverse tan of this number here, which comes out to be 26.3 degrees, and this is my final answer. In question 18, I'll find the gradients of all the sides. So let's start. M of A and B is equal to 10 minus minus 2 over 1 minus minus 4. This will give me 12 over 5. The gradient of BC is given by A minus 10 over 19 minus 1. This simplifies to A minus 10 over 18. Then gradient of C and D is equal to C minus A over B minus 19. And finally, the gradient of DA is equal to C plus 2 over B plus 4. Now note that opposite sides have the same gradient, so C and D also has gradient 12 over 5, and then the other two are perpendicular to A and B. Recall, for perpendicular lines we have the following rule. So the gradient of BC and DA is the reverse, the reciprocal of 12 over 5 with the reversed sign. So this will give me minus 5 over 12. Now let's label these gradients. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now from equation 2, I can get the following: 12a minus 120 equals minus 90. I got this by cross multiplying. So 12a is equal to 30. A comes out to be 2.5. Now from here onwards, there are different methods to use. I will proceed by creating two equations and solving them simultaneously. So from equation 3, I get the following: C minus 2.5 over B minus 19. This is equal to 12 over 5. If I cross multiply, I will get 5C minus 12.5 equals 12B minus 228. And if I rearrange, I get 215.5 equals 12B minus 5C. Then from equation 4, I get 12C plus 24 equals to minus 5b minus 20. If I rearrange this one, I will get 5b plus 12c equals minus 44. Now I'm going to multiply these equations, the first one by 5, the second one by 12 in order to solve them using elimination. So I get 60b minus 25c equals 1077.5, and then from the other one 16b plus 144c equals minus 528, and if I subtract those two, I will get minus 169c equals to 1605.5. So c comes out to be minus 9.5. And then if I substitute this c into any of the equations, for example, this one, I will get the b value, so 5b plus 12 times minus 9.5 equals minus 44. 5b is equal to 70, so b is equal to 14. So my values are 2.5 for A, 14 for B, and minus 9.5 for C. Now note, if you are using vectors, you can do the following. Vector AB is equal to vector DC. So 1 plus 4, 10 plus 2 is equal to 19 minus B, A minus C. If I equate the top, I will get 5 equals 19 minus B, which will give me B equals to 14. And then from the second row, 12 equals 2.5 minus C. So C will come out to be minus 9.5, much shorter, but involves mixing vectors with straight lines. For part B, I will use the distance formula, which is the following. To find the distance between two adjacent sides, so AB is equal to minus 4 minus 1 squared plus minus 2 minus 10 squared. Then I'll take the square root of that one. This will give me 13. And then BC is equal to 1 minus 19 squared plus 10 minus 2.5 squared. Square root of that gives me 19.5. So the perimeter is 2 times 13 plus 19.5, which gives me 65, and that's the final answer. For question 19, to find the velocity, I will need to differentiate. So ds dt equals to 3t squared plus 10t minus 8. And because I am at instantaneous rest, this means that the velocity is equal to 0. So 0 equals 3t squared plus 10t minus 8. Now I can factorize this. It will be 3t minus 2 and t plus 4. So when I solve it, I'm going to get t equals 2 over 3, or t is equal to minus 4, which I will reject. Hence, to find the displacement, I'm going to use this value of t and the original expression here and substitute. S equals 2 over 3 to the power of 3 plus 5, 2 over 3 squared minus 8, 2 over 3 plus 10, and the answer comes out to be 194 over 27, which is my final answer. For question 20, I will need the area of a triangle, which is given in the formula page. This is the following. Now I will divide my hexagon into 6 equilateral triangles. So now consider the triangles P, Q, and R, and the triangle A and B, and the center of the hexagon. Now let the sides of triangle PQR be x, hence the sides of triangle AB and the center of the hexagon are 1.5x, because we're given that AB is 1.5 PQ, so that's 1.5x each side. Also note that both of these are equilateral, so their angles are 60 degrees. So let's proceed. Now I'm going to find the area of the blue triangle. So area PQR is equal to 1 over 2 x times sine of 60. This is a half x squared times square root of 3 over 2, which is equal to square root of 3 over 4x squared. Now similarly, I will find the area of the red triangle. So area of, let's call this point here something, let's call it G for example. So area of ABG is equal to 1 over 2 times 1.5x times 1.5x times sine of 60. This will give me 9 over 8 x squared times the sine of 60, which is square root of 3 over 2. If I simplify, I will get 9 square root of 3 over 16x squared. Now, the area of the hexagon now is equal to 6 times the area of a red triangle. So, area of hexagon is 6 times the area of ABG. So 6 times 9 root 3 over 16x squared will give me 27 square root of 3 over 8x squared. Hence the area of T, which is the shaded area, is equal to the area of the hexagon minus the area of the small blue triangle, that's PQR. So 72 square root of 3, which is given, equals to 27 square root of 3 over 8 x squared minus square root of 3 over 4 x squared. Now I can simplify this, put this on the calculator without the x squared. You will get 25 square root of 3 over 8 x squared. So x squared is equal to 72 square root of 3 divided by 25 square root of 3 over 8. This will give me 576 over 25. Hence, if I take the square roots, x will come out to be 4.8 centimeters. For question 21, I'll start with this multiplication. So I will factorize each expression. This will give me 5x minus 8, 5x plus 8, that's the difference of two squares, over 5x plus 2, x minus 3. And then from the second fraction, I get x minus 5 times x minus 3 over, and this stays the same. Now I can cancel out the 5x plus 8 with the 5x plus 8, and also the x minus 3 with the x minus 3. So I'll be left with 5x minus 8 times x minus 5 all over 5x plus 2. Now, in the next step, I will subtract x minus 7 from this fraction. So let's just go down. Let me copy this to a new line. Minus x minus 7 over 1. So I'll multiply the second one by 5x plus 2. This will give me 5x minus 8, x minus 5 minus x minus 7, 5x plus 2, all over 5x plus 2. So let's expand the numerator. 5x squared minus 25x minus 8x plus 40 minus, I'm going to have a big bracket here, 5x squared plus 2x minus 35x minus 14, and the denominator stays the same. In the next step, I will expand this bracket here. So I get 5x squared minus 25x minus 8x gives me minus 33x plus 40, and then I get minus 5x squared. I have a minus 33x here, so I get plus 33x plus 14. Denominator stays the same. So now I can cross out the minus 33x with the 33x and the 5x with the minus 5x, and I'll be left with 54 over 5x plus 2, which is my final answer. For question 22, I'm given that the perimeter of the sector is twice the perimeter of the triangle. So I'll start by finding a formula for the perimeter of the sector. Now this is the sector I'm going to work with. So the perimeter of the sector is given by 50 over 360, because I have an angle of 50 here out of 360, which is the full circle, times the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r. So 2 pi times 6 plus x plus 2 times 6 plus x. Those are the two straight lines, each one being equivalent to the radius. If I simplify this one, I will get 5 over 18 pi times 6 plus x plus 2 times 6 plus x. And if I expand, I will get 5 pi over 3 plus 5 pi x over 18 plus 12 plus 2x. Now, regarding the triangle, to find the perimeter, I will use the cosine rule to find the line A and D, and then add 12. The cosine rule is the following, and this is given in the formula sheet at the back of the cover. So in our case, AD squared is equal to 6 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 6 times 6 cos 50. This will be 25.71 and so on. So A and D is equal to 5.07 ... I'm gonna keep this value, store this value for later. So the perimeter of the triangle, let's write it here, perimeter of triangle is equal to 6 plus 6 plus 5.07 and so on. This will give me 17.07 and so on. So now I can use the fact that the perimeter of the sector is 2 times the perimeter of the triangle. So if I substitute the expression I found on the previous page, I will get the following: 5 pi over 3 plus 5 pi over 18x plus 12 plus 2x, and this is equal to 2 times the number I found above, which is 17.07. So here, if I take out x as a common factor from these two expressions and then take these two numbers on the right hand side, I will get the following: x 5 pi over 18 plus 2. This is equal to 2 times 17.07 minus 5 pi over 3 minus 12. The right hand side will be 16.9 and so on. So x is equal to 16.9 divided by this number. So let's write it down: 5 pi over 18 plus 2, which will give me 5.89, correct with 3 significant figures, and this is my final answer.